Welcome back to Indianapolis, and we're ready to get this one underway. But time now to join the third member of our team, our sideline analyst and coach, Coach Tim Brewster.
Thank you, Gus. This Wisconsin offense is very multiple. It's hard to label. It's a two-back, it's a one-back, pro-style zone concepts, spread on third down. Russell Wilson and Monty Ball lead the way. Russell Wilson, scramble situations, extremely dangerous. Michigan State, this is a hard-nosed bunch. They're confident. They've beat Wisconsin 3 out of the last 4. They've got a decided advantage in the kicking game. Look for Michigan State to block a punt or return a kickoff for a touchdown tonight, guys. Gus.
All right, thank you, Coach. Most recently, Spartans defeating the Badgers 37-31 in East Lansing on October 22nd. Wisconsin wins the toss. They will receive Kevin Muma, sending it away. And back deep, Jared Abbrederis, very dangerous and talented return man and wide receiver for Wisconsin. Spartans, Badgers, and here we go for the Big Ten Championship. Abbrederis from the 5-yard line. And he gets all the way up to the 29 before being stopped, and that's a 24-yard return. So Wisconsin comes onto the field. Their offense ranked 12th in the nation, number 1 in the Big Ten, averaging .477 per game.
And their identity is to run the football. Travis Frederick has moved over from guard to play center, replacing Peter Kahns. And then when they want to throw the ball, the wild card is Nick Toon. If they get a big game out of him, look out.
The starting quarterback for Wisconsin, Russell Wilson, the North Carolina State transfer, 5'11", 210 pounds. First down and 10 to the 29. Ewing and Ball in the backfield. And here's Monty Ball. A lot of running room as he dives forward and picks up 6 yards on the play. Darquez Denard with the tackle. Defensively for Michigan State, they rank 3rd in the nation, giving up 266 yards a game. That's 1st in the Big Ten.
And they're awfully stout up front, very talented. Kevin Pickleman has been playing very well at defensive tackle. In the middle, Max Bulla is all Big Ten. He gets everyone lined up. And in the secondary against a hard-running team, you need your safeties to tackle. Trenton Robinson, Isaiah Lewis, they're up to the task.
Second down and 4 at the 35. Monty Ball, one of the great running backs in America. They give it to him again. He'll pick up the first down. High stepping and Ball. A wrecking ball on that play. Picks up 19 yards. Chris Norman with the tackle, but a flag on the play in the Wisconsin backfield.
Ball over the right side, takes it and then looks for a cutback, not there, finds the hole, and an excellent block downfield by Nick Toon, number 1, the wide receiver, crashing down.
Second out.
And this will go against Wisconsin. So Brett Bielema, how about this? His teams are 19-2 in games played after November 1st. Coach Bielema has led the Badgers to double-digit victories in 3 straight years, the first time in school history.
Could not hear who that was on, but the way it was looking, maybe that was on Nick Toon when he crashed inside. It looked like an illegal block in the back. I thought it looked pretty good from where I was, but apparently he caught him from the wrong side.
So that makes it second down and 8 at the 31. Ewing and Ball. Here's Ball, second man through, big opening. Ball smashes his way to the 45. A 13-yard pickup for Monty Ball, the 5'11", 210-pound junior from Wentzville, Missouri.
I came into this game expecting Wisconsin to face a loaded box. 7, 8, 9 people up on the line of scrimmage from Michigan State and possibly throw the ball early. But they've come out determined just to be who they are. Run the football. Doesn't matter who's up there, and so far they've been effective.
So a first down at the 44, opening drive for the Badgers. Wilson gives it to him again. This time tries to turn the corner. Great pursuit by the Michigan State defense, and they'll wrestle him down. Marcus Rush with the tackle, and it's a 2-yard gain, along with William Golston.
And Golston really made the play for Rush by setting the edge and not giving Ball the chance to get to the corner and turn it. Ball ended up trying to straight arm Golston, and then Rush was able to come from the backside with pursuit and put him down. Well played by William Golston, who did not play in their first game.
Michigan State defense ranked 11th in the nation, giving up 102.5 yards a game. 2nd and 8. This time they'll go to the left side. Ball cuts it back. Watch him weave his way all the way down to the 26 of the Spartans, and that's a 26-yard gain. Max Bulla with the tackle, and Wisconsin's got it rolling early.
And watch the big guys coming at you. Watch them on their feet and the agility. Look at that. 79 coming at you is Groy. Look at him run. Here's 72, Frederick. And Ball following the big guys. Look at this. They're out running. Nice block at the point of attack by the wide receiver. A huge gain for Wisconsin on the toss.
Ball, the only unanimous first-team All-Big Ten selection. He's the inaugural winner of the Amici Dane Big Ten Running Back of the Year award. 5 carries, 53 yards so far. James White comes in. Out of the offset eye. Play action. Wilson over the middle and caught. Nick Toon. That's Al's kid. Isaiah Lewis with the tackle.
The heavy run from Wisconsin sets up the play action pass on first down, and Wilson delivers. But look at Toon use his body up in front of 31, Darquez Denard, and makes the catch. Really well done, and the Badgers now in the red zone. They score touchdowns 86% of the time. The most effective red zone team in the nation in scoring touchdowns.
Opening drive for Wisconsin, which started at their own 29-yard line. This is the 6th play, 1st and goal at the 6th, and Ball will lead forward. And he'll get back to the line of scrimmage. But Monty Ball last week against Penn State, 25 carries, 156 yards, and a career-high tying 4 touchdowns. And when you look at Wisconsin, they're the only team, Charles, that I've seen this year that in their starting lineup, they line up 2 tight ends.
They love it. This is who Wisconsin is as we see the red zone numbers as they line up again. And look at the beef that they have. Fullback, tight ends, they're ready to rumble.
2nd down and goal at the 6th. Play fake. Wilson drops it off, and it's caught by Brady Ewing inside the 5-yard line. As Danico Salin makes the tackle. And these linebackers for Michigan State, terrific. Danico Salin, Chris Norman, they can really roam the field.
Both of them are former safeties, so they use their quickness and speed to get out and flow and make tackles.
In the first meeting between these 2 teams, Wisconsin got off to a 14-0 lead early, but trailed at halftime. 3rd down and goal at the 3. Monty Ball in the backfield with Russell Wilson out of the gun. Here's Wilson looking over the middle, touchdown. Jeff Duckworth, first touchdown of the season for the redshirt sophomore out of Cincinnati.
How about this? Because it's to the right side of your screen. They're going to run everyone deep except for Duckworth, the receiver. They push him. He comes underneath. Easy pitch and catch for Russell Wilson. The initial score of the game for Wisconsin.
Philip Welch comes in to attempt the extra point, and he has it. Wisconsin marches the ball right down the field on their opening drive. 9 plays, 71 yards. They eat up close to 5 minutes. Badgers up 7-0. Wisconsin scoring on their opening drive to take a 7-0 lead, and the great views from just above the field come from our Verizon Action Cam.
About that drive right out of the gate for Wisconsin. I thought they might have to throw it a little bit more early. They were able to run it so effectively, and it set up the pass instead of the other way around. Similar to their first drive in the first meeting, where they went 11 plays and 80 yards.
Kirk Cousins, the senior quarterback from Holland, Michigan, ready to get his opportunity. Philip Welch sending it away. Nick Hill, Le'Veon Bell back deep. This will be Hill. And Hill crosses the 20 to the 30. And Hill stiff arms out of bounds. at the 42. A 39-yard return. And that will give the Spartans excellent field position.
And this has been an issue all year long for Wisconsin in covering kickoffs and giving up real estate. And look at the blocking, and he finds the crease. Here's a chance for a tackle. It's not made. He runs right through Brady Ewing. Terrific block to the left side. Le'Veon Bell helping with a double team. And Nick Hill puts the Spartans in business at the 41-yard line.
Nick Hill, redshirt freshman from Chelsea, Michigan. So the Spartans start at their own 39. Make that 41, first down and 10. At the 41-yard line on first down. Bell running it straight ahead, and there's a flag on the play.
Offside, defense, number 93. Lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty. It'll be first down.
That's Louis Nzegwu, the senior from Platteville, Wisconsin. So first and 5 for MSU at the 46. Anderson and Bell. Motion out of the backfield. Bell in the slot at the top of your screen. Cousins in trouble. Dancing, looking, and he'll go down. Brendan Kelly with the sack, but another flag. Charles, looked like someone from Wisconsin may have jumped.
And that's the way it appears.
There was no play. False start in the offensive line. Right guard, right tackle. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
And that's the first penalty against Michigan State in their 2 meetings.
That's right. Michigan State did not commit a penalty in its last second win over Wisconsin. It marked the first time the Spartans weren't flagged for a penalty in a game since 1975 against Notre Dame.
And that was against Fo Fanoti, the right tackle.
So that'll make it first down and 10 for MSU. Stuck in neutral right now. Le'Veon Bell lines up with Cousins. Trips at the bottom of your screen. Here's the handoff. Bell cuts it back. With throw. Breakaway. Speed. Bell down at the 33. 26 yards. Aaron Henry got him by an ankle.
A nice read by Le'Veon Bell, running horizontally first and then finding the crease. Watch as he comes to the left side. He'll find the gap, and that's when he puts his foot in the ground and accelerates straight through the hole. Sees it and runs hard for big yardage for Michigan State. Nice block by Chris McDonald, number 62.
So a first down for the Spartans at the Wisconsin 33-yard line. Cousins over the middle and caught. Keyshawn Martin. And it's a gain of 13. Borland, Henry combining on the tackle.
And we're already seeing early for both sides how the running game helps you in play action. When you're running it effectively and you decide to throw the ball on first down off of play action, oftentimes you find receivers open in the secondary. Keyshawn Martin, as he's gotten healthy, the production has gone up for Michigan State on offense.
Last time these two teams played, Martin 5 catches, 41 yards, and a 15-yard touchdown. First down and 10 at the Badger 20. Bell, second man through, and he's chopped down after about a 1-yard gain.
It's been interesting for Michigan State this year is that while Wisconsin's identity is tied up in running the football on offense, so is Michigan State's. But this season, they were 12th in the Big Ten in running the football. That's not Michigan State. So they had to rely more on Kirk Cousins' arm as they hit the red zone.
Second down and 9 at the 29. Le'Veon Bell running right this time. Lowers his shoulder. Power football. And he gets out of bounds at the 10. Shelton Johnson, the redshirt junior, with the tackle.
Today is not going to be for the faint of heart if you're going to play in this contest. Both teams will not back down. Physical, Big Ten, no doubt.
This is the opening drive for Michigan State, which started at their own 41-yard line. Edwin Baker checks in. He'll run it straight ahead. And on 3rd and 1, looks like Baker has the first down.
It's early, but you have to like what you're seeing from both offensive lines. Michigan State has had an offensive line that had to be reconstituted, and now, using multiple backs to carry the football behind those guys, they're starting to get some push. Larry Caper, number 22, is their 3rd down back, and they like to utilize him out of the backfield. Edwin Baker's in now. Caper, the best guy to catch the football.
First down and goal at the 8-yard line. And a handoff. Touchdown Spartans. Edwin Baker. Folks, I think we're in store for a good one. Wisconsin scores on their opening drive. Michigan State comes back, scores on their opening drive. And with 6:44 to play in the first, we have a chance to get a tie score.
And look at the offensive line again. Look at the tight end, Selleck, 85, controls the edge and allows Baker to get to the corner.
Dan Conroy in for the extra point, and it's good. 6:44 to go. In the first quarter, we're tied at 7 in Indy. Game tied at 7, the Big Ten inaugural championship game. The winner of this game not only winning the title for the first time, but also advancing to the Rose Bowl where Oregon waits. And a look at opening drives for both these teams.
Mirror images because they both culminated in touchdowns, but how they got there also mirror images. Offensive lines controlling the line of scrimmage, creating creases for the running backs and setting up play action passes on first down for their quarterbacks.
Kevin Muma sending it away. Abradaris and James White back deep. And this one kicked out of bounds. So Wisconsin will get it at the 40 as Russell Wilson comes back on the field. All right, our official has forgotten to turn his mic on to open it up to the stadium. Russell Wilson turning things on for Wisconsin early in that first drive. He is the inaugural winner of the Big Ten's Greasy Breeze Quarterback of the Year award. 3 for 3, 28 yards and a touchdown to start. First down at the 40. Here's the pitch. Ball. Cuts it back. And Ball getting close to midfield. Monty Ball has terrific vision.
He sees so well, and if you leave a cutback crease, he'll find it. On that play, he didn't need it. That play looked familiar, didn't it? Remember the first drive? Almost a student body play where they pull a lot of people out front to create the opening for Monty Ball. He just followed the big fellas upfield.
When he faced Michigan State the first time, October 22nd, 18 carries, 115 yards, and a touchdown. He went out of the game in the first half with an injury and a handoff as Jarrell Worthy almost got back to the quarterback.
And how fortunate was Wisconsin, because coming through, watch Jarrell Worthy working over Kevin Zeitler, just shoots the gap and gets to Russell Wilson at the same time the handoff is completed. That was so close to a big play for Michigan State.
Spartans so happy to have worthy services for this game.
That guy is a first-team All-Big Ten performer and quite the athlete.
Far side ball incomplete to the intended receiver. That goes right through his hands.
This is one that you look at it, Nick Toon, that simply goes down as a drop football. That pass was right in his hands, right where it should be caught.
Toon on the season, 52 catches, 788 yards and 9 touchdowns. Second down and 10 of the 49. Ball, single setback. And they give it to him as he stretches it out to the left, cuts it back in, and goes down at the Michigan State 41. Trenton Robinson, the senior from Bay City, Michigan, with the tackle. And Ball, I tell you what, not only does he have great vision, but he is a rugged, physical running back, and he's only 5'11", 210 pounds.
Last year, he was about 10 to 15 pounds heavier. Lost weight in order to get quicker, but lost none of his strength.
9 carries, 72 yards for Ball early. 3rd and 2 at the 41. Out of the offset eye, here's the pitch. Ball wants to throw it. Wilson with the step. He's got it. Down the sideline and out of bounds. We saw that against Indiana earlier this year.
And not only did he throw it, he threw it leading Russell Wilson. That's as nice a throw as a running back's going to have. Watch Ball. He's going to take the pitch, and Wilson exit out the backside, but watch the throw. He throws to a spot, leading his quarterback, and hits him perfectly to send him downfield.
Ball with a pretty good spiral. Wilson, the former baseball player, catching it in stride and showing his athleticism. First down and goal at the 9. And the Badgers call a timeout. 4:27 to play in the first quarter. Game tied at 7.
The halfback pass you just saw, Wisconsin ran that earlier this year. Monty Ball against Indiana on the toss. Russell Wilson casually escapes out the backside. And look at that pass. Leads Russell Wilson wide open into the end zone. And then tonight, the same play call, another perfectly thrown football for a big gainer for Wisconsin. Russell Wilson into the game early. Monty Ball says, whatever you do, I can do it also.
They gained 25 yards the first time they tried it. 32 yards this time. First down and goal to the 9. And Ball hopping inside, gets down to the 6-yard line. Max Bulla, the sophomore from Traverse City, coming up with the tackle.
And on that play, Michigan State's defensive front gained a stalemate with Wisconsin's offensive line. But the vision that you noted, Gus, of Monty Ball allowed him to pick up yardage. He saw the play stacked up. A little bit of a jump cut to his left to find a small crease to burrow forward.
Second down and goal to the 6. Ball again, looking. Ball leading, and touchdown, Wisconsin. 6 yards.
And this is power football, because watch the fullback, Ewing. Watch as he leads. You follow him. Monty Ball follows him into the end. Look at that block right there. There's a stalemate to give him the first crease. And then with power, he finishes the run in the end zone.
Ball came into this game with 29.
The previous play is under review.
Ball came into this game with 29 rushing touchdowns. And he's chasing a man that was pretty good at getting into the end zone by the name of Barry Sanders.
And when you look at their numbers, and I know we will before the night is over, the comparison is something. But let's take a look and see what we think they're reviewing. Was his knee down before he got to the end zone? He's falling forward, knees still up. He's falling into the end zone. I think this play is going to stand. I think he fell into the end zone before the knees went down. I think what Bill Lamonier will come back and say is The ruling on the field is confirmed, and it'll be a touchdown for Wisconsin.
Charles, how about that Exmo camera?
Oh,
pretty, right?
It's gorgeous, and it gives us what we need to know. Were the knees down as he's falling? And look at that pretty picture as he powers his way into the end zone. The weight loss, the rededication to the game, the knowledge of the game that he acquired in the offseason.
Following review, the play is confirmed. Touchdown.
So Ball, 11 carries, 81 yards, and a touchdown. And we still have 3:44 to play in the first quarter. Badgers scoring on their first and second drives. 7 plays, 60 yards, eating up 3 minutes. So Monty balling early. First, a pass to Russell Wilson. And then dives into the end zone for the score. 14-7, Wisconsin. All right, welcome back. And don't forget, folks, tomorrow it's a Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader with a full slate of games highlighted by Tim Tebow and the Broncos going for their 5th straight win against the Vikings. Then America's Game of the Week showcases the undefeated Packers taking on a desperate Giants team in Nueva York. Coverage begins tomorrow with the Fox NFL Sunday pregame show at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific. Check local listings for the games in your area. Monty Ball, 30 rushing touchdowns this season.
Pat Narduzzi, the defensive coordinator for Michigan State, says he attacks the line of scrimmage with amazing abandon.
Nick Hill, Le'Veon Bell back deep. This will be Hill fielding it on the run. And Hill lost it. And the Badgers have the football. Jacob Patterson, the starting tight end, playing on special teams with the fumble recovery.
See Hill trying to hit it up in there, and a nice tackle by Connor O'Neal. Number 13 knocks the ball free and allows Pedersen to fall on it. Let's see if Wisconsin attacks right here on first down on a momentum play with Russell Wilson taking a shot at the end zone.
And keep in mind, in Big Ten play this year, Wisconsin scored touchdowns off 16 of the 19 turnovers it forced. That's 84%. First down at the MSU 24. The handoff, Ball with an opening, and he's tackled at the 5. Trenton Robinson with the saving tackle, a pickup of 18 yards.
And take a look at how many people are so close to the line of scrimmage for Michigan State. Yet, Wisconsin still runs the ball inside, still blocks it, and finds a crease for Monty Ball to hurdle through.
That brings up first down and goal of the 6. Ewing and Ball. Ball, second man throw. The Badgers, they didn't call this game a rematch. They call this game redemption. And they're trying to send an early message to Michigan State. 3:12 to go in the first quarter, and we've got a 21-7 game. Monty Ball, 13 carries, 105 yards, 2 touchdowns. We're only in the first quarter.
You won't find the toughness of a Ram 1500 combined with the legendary power of a Hemi V8 in any other truck. It's a beautiful thing. Guts, glory, Ram.
Welcome back. Special teams so important in this game for both teams.
Wisconsin's had trouble covering kickoffs all year long. I spoke with their special teams coordinator, DeMonte Cross, in pregame. He told me his guys were ready to make a play today. They just did so. Connor O'Neill with the forced fumble, Pedersen with the recovery. A few plays later, they're in the end zone with Monty Ball running the football.
Remember, in the first game, Michigan State blocked a field goal, blocked a punt, which resulted in a touchdown. Also had a safety. Badgers send it away, line drive kick, and Hill will take a knee. So Kirk Cousins comes back onto the field for this Michigan State squad. Their offense, 5th in the Big Ten, averaging 383 yards per game.
And Joel Foreman is a four-year starter at Michigan State in the offensive line, the first time since Tony Mandarich that's happened. And Keyshawn Martin, his health has increased, so has his production, 7 touchdowns in his last 7 games.
Cousins starts from his own 20 out of the gun. Looking over the middle, caught, beautiful throw and catch. Keyshawn Martin catching that one on the run for a gain of 16.
And the thing to keep in mind with Michigan State, in the first game, they were down 14 and came back and won. They'll keep their poise.
Defensively for Wisconsin, they rank 7th in the nation in total defense, number 2 in the Big Ten. And a first down at the 37, breathing room for the Spartans. Cousins, cool customer, folks. He has a lot of swagger under center. The handoff, Baker cuts it back, and Baker dives forward, picks up the first down. Marcus Cromartie with the tackle. So here's a look at that Wisconsin Badger D.
And Patrick Buttram leads the defensive line. They've got to get stouter at the point of attack. Michigan State running the ball quite effectively early. At the linebacker position, they have the top 2 tacklers in the Big Ten, in Mike Taylor and Chris Borland. And back deep, their cornerback, Antonio Finellis, has played awfully well this season.
Both teams running the football well in the first quarter. Cousins underneath again, and another reception this time. B.J. Cunningham, the senior out of Westerville, Ohio.
I like how he took the 6'2", 215-pound frame that he possesses out for a spin. Watch how he gets to the defender on his back. Make sure Finellis is behind him, can't come through him to catch the football. Well thrown by Kirk Cousins.
Cunningham with a 35-yard touchdown in the first half in the first meeting against Wisconsin. Cousins starting very well, 3 of 3, 43 yards. 1st and 10 at the 39. Here's a handoff, Baker, and nothing. Gobbled up. Patrick Buttram, first man to him, along with Shelton Johnson.
See the rushing yards early in the game, 105 for Wisconsin. Remember, Wisconsin has gained a possession with the turnover on the kickoff coverage when they pop the ball free. So when they gain the extra possession, that allows for extra yards. Both teams running the ball effectively early in this game.
2nd down and 10 at the 39. Twins at the top of your screen. Bell in the backfield. They give it to him. Short side. Turns a corner and is upended. Let's see where he stepped out of bounds. And they'll mark it at about the 33.5 as Antonio Finellis comes up with the tackle.
And look how he turns the corner, and Zegwu has a chance to make the play, but he's engaged with Chris McDonald, number 62. The foot might have crept out of bounds right before he was bumped out. Finellis making the tackle on the sideline.
So on 3rd down and 4 at the 33-yard line, Michigan State lines up in the shotgun. Kirk Cousins dropping back, stepping up, diving forward, and he'll be close. And they'll mark it outside the 30. So Michigan State faced with a 4th down and 1.
And if they let the clock run, they can probably take it down and think about it in the quarter change.
And it looks like that's exactly what they're going to do. 4 seconds remaining. What a first quarter, folks. 21-7, Wisconsin. After one, the Big Ten championship game on Fox. We'll be back after these messages. Some Michigan State deception taking place here.
Well, they lined up in the huddle with the kicking team and the offense, and then they made the decision. The quarterback comes on the field. He does not hold for extra points and field goals, so they made their decision to go for it on 4th down.
Dan Conroy remains on the sideline for Michigan State. 4th down and 1 at the 30. Le'Veon Bell in the backfield along with Todd Anderson as fullback.
And Mark D'Antonio, as buttoned down as he is, as measured as he is not afraid to pull a few tricks out of the hat. Don't be surprised if he fakes it inside and tries to get something over the top on 4th and short.
Coach D'Antonio in his 5th season, his record overall since coming from Cincinnati, 43-21, 27-13 in the Big Ten. This season, 10-2, 7-1 in conference play. Winners of the Legends Division. 4th down and 1 out of the offset eye. Bell, the deep man. They fake the pitch. Cousins rolling. Wow! Touchdown! B.J. Cunningham on the bootleg. 30 yards.
They go bootleg action. They fake the toss and bring Cousins out. And what they do is they bring B.J. Cunningham from the left to the right crossing. The toss action drew the safeties up. Mark D'Antonio, he may look like he's all buttoned down, but he's wide open on game day.
Start of the second quarter, extra point up and good. 21-14, Wisconsin, but Michigan State continuing to play hard. All right, the Jeep keys to the game.
Things were going so fast, we didn't get a chance to get to them for Wisconsin. Protect our kickers in the first game. They had a field goal and a punt block, and air to ground. I thought Wisconsin would open up throwing more, but they've been running the heck out of it. For Michigan State, the number is 3. How will they do on 3rd downs? They were 8 of 16 on offense in game 1 against Wisconsin, and pound, green, pound. They may be last in the Big Ten in running it, but that's their identity too, and early in this game, they're running it effectively.
Kevin Muma will send it away. Abradaris and James White back deep. Abradaris fields it at the 1-yard line. Abradaris breaks it back and crosses the 20 and gets up to the 23. Time now for a game break. Let's go over to Kevin Frazier.
Gus and Charles, 2 teams that you know very well. It's Bedlam, Oklahoma against Oklahoma State. Cowboys impressive early. They're up 10-zip, but here's the question, Charles. What will it take for Oklahoma State to leapfrog Alabama and get into the national championship game?
Kevin, they'll have to be extremely impressive tonight, a big-time victory, because I think a lot of people would look for an excuse to vote for Oklahoma State and not vote for a rematch of Alabama and LSU.
First down for Russell Wilson. At his own 24. Here's a handoff ball, and he'll run into a sea of green jerseys. And keep this in mind for Michigan State. Our ace stat man, Jeff Chapman, who we call Chappie, has slid over a stat that says Michigan State has totally overwhelmed opponents in the second quarter this year, 146-29. And in the first meeting with the Badgers, the Spartans outscored them 23-0 in the second quarter.
And look for their defensive coordinator, Pat Narduzzi, to start running a few more run blitzes to try and combat this running game of Wisconsin.
Second down and 10 at the 24. Wilson trying to go for the screen, throws on the run, and Michigan State closing quickly. Darquez Denard, along with Jarrell Worthy, giving pressure, and that's a loss of 5.
We just talked about the keys. Now we're getting to the number 3, third down. Why? Because Michigan State, their defense is 1 first down and second down. Stuff the run, and then Denard snips out the screen pass and puts him down.
Third down and 15. From the 19-yard line. Wilson with time, now bounces out of the pocket. Wilson, he'll get out of bounds at the 21. And that'll force the Badgers to punt it away.
What we just saw in that series was an example of earning the right to rush the quarterback. See, defensive linemen, all they want to do is rush the quarterback. Coach, I want to get sacks. Their coaches tell them all the time, guys, you have to earn it. You have to win first down. You have to win second down. Third and long, I can turn you loose. That's what happened on that play.
So that brings on Brad Northman. And Northman last week against Penn State, 5 punts, averaging 41 yards a punt. On the season, he's averaging 41.8. Keyshawn Martin back deep at the 40. End over end kick. Martin with the fair catch, and he has it at the 43. So Kirk Cousins in the Michigan State offense, down by 7, back on the field with excellent field position. Fox Sports is proud to support the Dream Foundation, who are making dreams come true for adults facing a life-threatening illness. There is no greater time to help those in need this holiday season and when time is limited. Please text DREAM to 41518 to donate $10 and turn dreams into lasting memories. Gus Johnson, Charles Davis, Coach Tim Brewster on the sideline as our analyst. And Coach Brew, you know these two coaches very well after spending time at Minnesota.
Yeah, Gus, in talking to Mark D'Antonio before the game, he feels like they've got Wisconsin's number. They beat them 3 out of the last 4, and they don't feel good about the respect they're getting.
On first down, here's a Wildcat formation, Martin. And Coach Brewster, how about Coach Bielema? Yeah, I saw you chatting with him on the sideline before the game as well.
Well, he was a tremendous adversary of mine for the past 4 years. Huge rivalry between Minnesota and Wisconsin. But I'll tell you what, Brett's done a great job with that program. Barry Alvarez started it out. Brett's just continued where Barry left off.
Many people don't understand that is a monster rivalry. Wisconsin and Minnesota often spills into the recruiting wars, going after the same type of players.
Second down and 8 at the 45. Cousins over the middle. Oh, beautiful strike underneath as he finds Le'Veon Bell for a 13-yard pickup.
One other observation in this game early is that the stage is not even close to being too big for these quarterbacks. Both of them came out composed and ready to go tonight. No real hint of nervousness. Balls being delivered accurately on both sides. Well thrown by Kirk Cousins.
Cousins is the winningest quarterback in Michigan State history with 26 victories. A captain since his sophomore year, and they run it. Le'Veon Bell. And let's go back to Kirk Cousins. He's been a captain since his sophomore year. The only time that happened before was in 1946 with Robert McCurry, who was a lineman.
And he was elected captain as we look at his school career ranks. Elected captain by his teammates. In fact, when it happened as a sophomore, Mark D'Antonio made the team vote again. He wasn't sure that was true. And then when they voted again, it was time for the captains to speak. The older guys deferred to Kirk Cousins, so he knew right away they saw him as a leader.
Second down and 7. Far side. Oh, beautiful throw. Keyshawn. 18-yard gain.
And Kirk Cousins found the matchup he liked because he got Keyshawn Martin against the linebacker Mike Taylor. And when he found that matchup, immediately he wanted to go in that direction and delivered. Keyshawn Martin has gotten healthy over the last half of this season, and he can hurt you so many ways in the return game, catching the football. And don't be surprised if he runs a couple of reverses before the night is over.
53 catches for 627 yards coming into this game for the senior from Inkster. First down and 10 to the 21. Cousins rolling, and he puts a mustard on that one. B.J. Cunningham climbs the ladder in heavy traffic, and that's a gain of 11.
And this throw said, I trust you, B.J. Cunningham, because it's a roll back to the left. It's a boot action, and he throws it into traffic. You could call that triple covered. But Kirk Cousins knows that he has a connection with B.J. Cunningham and trusts him to go up and get the football. And how about the body control, the catch radius, turning back to get the football.
First down and goal to the 10-yard line for Michigan State, trying to tie this game up. Cousins, far side, ball caught. Nico, he handed it off. Touchdown! What a play! Keith Nichol. Awareness, 99.
It's going to be a quick throw out to the flat. Nichol gets to the corner. He's being tackled by Antonio Henry and Antonio Pinellas. Excuse me, Aaron Henry and Antonio Pinellas. He makes the play, flipping it back to Cunningham for the touchdown.
Dan Conroy. Oh, they fake it. There's a run and get over the two-point conversion. Brad Sontag, the senior from Saginaw. And Michigan State takes a 22-21 lead. Spartans, Badgers, heavyweight fight going on in Naptown, folks. Mark D'Antonio, his team, a 9-point underdog coming into this game against a team they've already beaten this year, and he's faking extra points already.
Coach Brewster talked about it earlier. They've beaten them 3 out of the last 4 times in 2 straight. He says he talked with Coach D'Antonio and got a feel for this team. They feel like they've been disrespected. How can they be underdogs when they had the best record in the Big Ten this year? Coming in this game and beat the team that's favored against them tonight, and they're using it as fuel here in the early going.
B.J. Cunningham with the touchdown as he chats it up with Keith Nichol, the star in the first meeting between these two, catching the Hail Mary for the win. Abradaris and James White back deep, and Abradaris will take a knee. Coach Brewster, both these teams pulling out the stops early on.
Mark D'Antonio, I could tell, Gus, in my conversation with him on the field before the game, his jaw was set. Him going for 2, he's taking a very aggressive approach. Guys, he's here to win. He wants this Spartan team to go to the Rose Bowl.
They have not done that since the 1988 season, trying to get back there, and he's been aggressive throughout the season.
From the 20-yard line for Wilson. He'll pass on first down and sack. Michigan State bringing the pressure. William Golston along with Allen on the hit.
And this is a team that came into the game second in the nation in sacks with 38. And remember, I talked about run blitzing. Well, in this situation, they just went ahead and cleaned up all the way back to the quarterback. Since there was no running play, they just met. Golston didn't play in game 1. He and Denikos Allen combined for the sack.
That's a loss of 6. A dominant second quarter so far for MSU. Wilson rolling out of the pocket. Stiff arm and gets out of bounds. Trying to get out of the way of Max Bulla.
And one of the things Michigan State did was work against the pump fakes of Russell Wilson all week long. That's something he's very adept at. And watch him as he gets to the outside. Watch, he's going to pump fake it. But Michigan State stays on their feet. They don't jump for the fake. And Bulla takes him out over the sideline. You can tell. The scouting report, see, there's the pump fake. They don't buy it. Bulla stays on his feet and helps make the play. Excellent job by the Michigan State defense under Pat Narduzzi in scouting and executing.
All right, the injured Spartan, Jarrell Worthy.
And they need this big guy to be able to come back and play. He's been a force inside already in this game. Almost caused a fumble early, shooting the gap. He is stout against the run and can rush the passer well also.
Looks like he'll walk it off. Hopefully he will be back very soon for MSU. Wisconsin faced with a 3rd down and 13 at the 17-yard line.
And they've got to find a way to calm down the run that Michigan State is on right now. You outlined what they've done in the second quarter, what they did in game 1 where they put 23 straight on Wisconsin in that second quarter. Right now on 3rd and long, what do they do to slow down the pass rush and give themselves better field position?
3rd down and 13. Badgers need to go to the 30-yard line for a 1st down. Here's Ball running it, and he's ambushed from behind. William Golston, the sophomore from the Motor City.
And mentally, for Michigan State, this call by Wisconsin plays right into their psyche. To Michigan State, this is one that you are being awfully careful, very cautious right now. You're afraid of making a mistake. Now, how about the punt formation here? See the 3 guys back to protect? Remember, the guys up front can go at the snap. So they use the 3 guys back to protect the punter and get the other guys downfield.
Deshaun Martin back deep, and he'll have it at the 38. A 44-yard punt. 8:42 to play, second quarter. The momentum has shifted. Michigan State with the lead and the football. Welcome back to Indy, 22-21 Michigan State. And let's take a look at the State Farm Get to Better State recap. State Farm for auto, home, life, and banking. Get to a better state. In the first meeting between these teams, Keith Nichols' 44-yard touchdown catch with 4 seconds left in the game sealed the Spartans' victory.
There was the tip, he was there, and used his strength to get it across the goal line. And tonight, he's figured in with another big play, a catch and a lateral that turned into a touchdown for B.J. Cunningham.
1st down for Michigan State at their own 40. Le'Veon Bell lines up as a lone setback play action. Cousins, a missile picked off. Wisconsin responds. Shelton Johnson. And the Spartans turn it over. Second Michigan State turnover of the night.
And when Wisconsin ran the draw and punted, the onus shifted to their defense, and Shelton Johnson did an excellent job at safety, reading Kirk Cousins and going to the football and cutting in front of the intended receiver, Linthicum, to get the interception. A huge play for the Wisconsin defense. The burden was on them, and they answered.
4th interception of the season for Johnson, and that was the first incomplete pass thrown by Cousins. And ironically, it turns out to be an interception. Jarrell Worthy back in the game for the Michigan State D-line. Wilson's got to get this offense humming. Far side incomplete to the intended receiver.
You remember how I said one of the keys to the game was the number 3 for Michigan State, 3rd down? Well, 3rd down's important. If we look at the first 3 drives of Wisconsin, big numbers. The last 2, nothing. The reason they're getting nothing is because they're winning 1st and 2nd down. Michigan State's defense is. That leads to 3rd down being a very productive down for them. So in order to get there, they've got to continue to dominate the first 2 downs. They just did that one on 1st down. 2nd
and 10 at the 41. Here's the pitch. Ball tries to break it back with a running room. And he'll dive forward and get a 1.5 yards. Anthony Rashad White, first man to him.
So if you're keeping score on this series, down 1, check Michigan State. Down 2, check Michigan State. 3rd down, now they have the chance to rush the passer.
And an injured Spartan. That's Kevin Pickleman. And while he's being tended to, we will take a step away. 22-21 Spartans.
The most headroom per dollar of any car in America, from $10,990. The all-new Nissan Versa sedan. Innovation upsized, innovation for all. most legroom per dollar of any car in America. From $10,990. The all-new Nissan Versa sedan. Innovation upsized. Innovation for all.
All right, let's take a look as we recap this one.
Early touchdown, Wilson to Duckworth. Edwin Baker gets in. Monty Ball back-to-back touchdowns. And then on a 4th and short, the gambler, Mark D'Antonio, with a touchdown pass to B.J. Cunningham. Keith Nickel with the lateral. And then Sontag, the holder, fakes the extra point and runs it in for 2. And that brings us to 22-21 Michigan State.
Pickleman being helped off the field.
That's a tough one for Michigan State. He's played so well, especially here the second half of the season in the middle of their defense.
3rd down and 8 at the 43 for Russell Wilson.
Let's see what they dial up defensively here. Pat Narduzzi, it looks like he's mugging the line and they're coming.
Wilson. And knocked down. Danico Allen with the sack.
The rush was terrific, but how about the coverage downfield? Let's see what these guys do. Let's see why there's nowhere to go with the football. Covered, no one, nowhere. Look at Duckworth 15, Pedersen 48. Where are you gonna go? It's too late now. The rush has gotten to the quarterback.
And that's the 2nd sack of the night for Michigan State. Keyshawn Martin back deep. And he will signal for the fair catch and have it at the 15. 7:23 to play in the 2nd quarter. Michigan State with a 22-21 lead in this game, very similar to the one that was played on October 22nd. In this one, Wisconsin getting out to an early lead. The Spartans reel them in the 2nd quarter.
In both games, the lead was 14. 14-0 in the first game. Michigan State went on a 23-point run. In this game, it was 21-7. And now Michigan State's ahead 22-21. And how about Michigan State's defense? After the interception, shutting down Wisconsin and getting the ball back with no points.
Cousins hands the ball off to Baker. And Baker. Gang tackle. Marcus Cromartie. First man 2 on the cousin of New York Jet defensive back Antonio Cromartie.
Originally from New Orleans, and Hurricane Katrina forced his family out of there, ended up moving to Texas. And that's a stroke of luck for Wisconsin because the Badgers don't traditionally recruit Louisiana, but they recruit Texas. And that's how they found Marcus Cromartie.
2nd down and 8 of the 18. Baker again. No room over that right side. We'll pick up a few. But both these teams, Coach Brewster, running the ball extremely well early. What have the defensives done? What kind of adjustments have they made? Because neither team can run the ball right now.
Well, again, it's winning the battle up front on defense. The defensive line. William Golston has stepped up his game, and he's been a real factor for Michigan State. And it's the same thing here with Wisconsin. It's all about the battle in the trenches, winning up front.
Big man's game. 3rd down and 6 at the 20 for Cousins.
Going radar, no one with their hand on the ground trying to confuse blocking assignments.
Cousins looking to the sideline and caught. Keyshawn. 28-yard pickup.
Everyone loves the back shoulder throw. They talk about how hard it is to defend, but it doesn't happen unless you have a receiver who tracks the football and has body control and able to turn back and catch the football. And that's what Keyshawn Martin does. Catches it, foot down, completed pass, big play, Michigan State.
And a beautiful throw by Kirk Cousins. So far, Martin, 4 catches, 76 yards. 1st down and 10 of the 48. And they'll sweep it around the left side. Martin looking, follows his block on the move, and hops out of bounds after picking up 13 yards.
On the last series, Wisconsin calmed things down for a moment with the interception by Shelton Johnson, but now they've got to look to each other on defense and decide who's going to make a play for them. because Michigan State, the momentum continues to rise on their sideline because their defense stuffed Wisconsin after the interception.
Cousins, quick throw, picked up, Martin again, and Martin will stutter step out of bounds at the 32. Chris Borland there to push him out of bounds.
Offensive line holds the stalemate to allow the quarterback to get the ball out of his hands quickly, and Keith Nickel, number 7, the hero of the first game with the catch. A big play already with the catch in the lateral for the touchdown to Cunningham. He was out leading, blocking on that play, allowing the gain.
2nd down and 2. Anderson and Bell in a tight I formation. This time Nickel with the grab and running room. And Nickel knocked out of bounds at the 15-yard line after gaining 17. Antonio Finellis knocks him out of bounds.
This is the exact same play, except now they reward Keith Nickel for his block on the last play. And look at B.J. Cunningham, number 3, his fellow wide receiver, with an excellent block on Aaron Henry, allowing Nickel to get to the corner and pick up yardage.
Michigan State knocking on the door. 7th play of the drive that started at the MSU 16. From the 14 now, 1st down. The pitch. Bell. And Bell. Oh, Bell rumbling. He spins and gets all the way down to the 5. Johnson stops him.
The first 5 or 6 yards credit the offensive front and tight end of Michigan State. Watch how they get out in front. Look at Finotti, 51 blocking. But the end of the run, give that all to Le'Veon Bell, because watch how he finishes it with power, runs through people, spins, and picks up extra yardage on his own.
7 carries, 52 yards for Le'Veon Bell. 2nd and 2 at the 6. Spartans can get a 1st down here. Straight ahead, Bell. Touchdown.
Old-fashioned Big Ten football coming right at you, and Bell finishes the run by getting a hand down for balance. Watch the hand. Keeps himself up, no part of the body contacts until he tumbles into the end zone.
19 career touchdowns now for Le'Veon Bell at Michigan State. With 3:26 to play in the 2nd, the Spartans take a 29-21 lead. And welcome back as we take a look at the scoring drive. 8 plays, 84 yards. Spartans eat up close to 4 minutes, and Michigan State with 22 unanswered points, and they have been smacking around the Badgers in the 2nd quarter.
Both of these teams pride themselves on their toughness. Right now, Michigan State is landing the heavier blows against Wisconsin. Brett Bielema, a defensive coordinator by trade, has to figure out how to get his team back in it, throwing the blows that they were throwing earlier in this game.
Wisconsin with 11 yards in the 2nd quarter. No points. Michigan State 164 yards in the 2nd quarter and 22 points. Abradaris. And Abradaris collared and taken down at the 20. Brad Sontag with the special teams tackle. Now Nissan is giving their official Heisman vote to fans. This is the last weekend to cast your vote at theheismanvote.com and make your opinion count.
And we're looking at 2 Badgers that we're talking about, Russell Wilson, Monty Ball. When we take a look at the Heisman, watch Trent Richards from Alabama, might be the leader in the clubhouse. But we're talking about 2 Badgers, and Michigan State again says, hold it a second. We've got the best record in the Big Ten. Why do they have more first-team All-Big Ten performers, and they're playing with that chip on their shoulder?
1st down, Wilson rolls out of the pocket. Under pressure, throws across his body, incomplete. Against Michigan State in the first game, Wilson with 14 of 21, 223 yards, 2 touchdowns. But he didn't play his best game, managed to rally them late, however.
Yeah, he ended up throwing 2 interceptions in the game, brought him back 31-17 down. As we look, you mentioned minus 11 yards in the second quarter for Wisconsin. Look at Michigan State, 164 with the 22 points. But right now, Michigan State has Russell Wilson and the Wisconsin offense totally off balance and on the run.
Second down and 10 of the 21. And they throw it out. Ball squares his shoulder. And he got drilled by Trenton Robinson, the safety.
Even when there appears to be open space now, watch how Michigan State runs to the football, because this looked like a first down to me. Monty Ball in open space, but Trenton Robinson coming up from the safety position with a big hit and puts him down and forces third down.
Third down and 3 at the 28. Wisconsin 2 of 5 on third down conversions. Wilson up the sideline, incomplete. Ball the intended receiver on the wheel. And the Badgers will punt it away once again.
Third down, Pat Narduzzi, the defense coordinator, he's going to dial up pressure. Watch Bulla, number 40. He's going to come a little bit late and get right in the face of Russell Wilson. And then the coverage out of the backfield was terrific with the linebacker covering the back. Can't fit the ball in. Another 3rd and out for Wisconsin.
So Brad Nortman will send it away for the 4th time. He's had punts of 37, 44, and 48 yards. Keyshawn Martin hasn't been able to really get loose because Nortman has hung it high in the air. He does it again. And fair caught at the 27. And don't forget, coming up in the half is the Pizza Hut halftime show with Kevin Frazier and Marcus Allen. They'll have first half highlights, opinions, and analysis, plus the Dr. Pepper tuition throw.
And we'll go back to something Coach Brewster talked about earlier, about how Mark D'Antonio came to win today. In other words, going to be aggressive, go for it on 4th down, fake the extra point, and go for 2. What he's done is he's created a decision for Wisconsin if they want to try and tie the game. See, that extra 2-point conversion now has made it an 8-point game instead of what should be a 7-point game. If Wisconsin does score, do you chase points now or do you try and get them later?
2:24 to go. Michigan State with 3 timeouts left. On the screen, Bell breaks the tackle, but is brought down by Buttram. Now a loss of 7 on the play.
And that play could not have come any sooner for Wisconsin. Why? A first down play that they win. We've been talking about Michigan State winning first down so much here in the second quarter. The Wisconsin defense won first down in a big way. 2nd and long now. This is their opportunity to flip the field and create a big play.
Second down at 16. Cousins is 11 of 12. 164 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 pick. And they'll keep it on the ground. Bell spinning. Bell driving. Bell. What a first half for this sophomore from Reynoldsburg, Ohio. He is as tough as they come, 6'2", 237.
And if you are Chris Ash, the defensive coordinator for Wisconsin, you're saying this is absolutely unacceptable. 2nd and 16. And this type of a run happens. They absolutely gashed him up front. Bell finishes the run, and now it sets them up for 3rd and short. They thought they were going to have 3rd and long and have a chance to get after the quarterback.
3rd down and 2 at the 37. 58 seconds and counting. Bell, the single setback. Handed off straight ahead. First down MSU as he gets up to the 45. As Brendan Kelly makes the tackle. Don't forget, folks, coming up at the half is the Pizza Hut halftime show with Kevin Frazier and Marcus Allen. They'll have first half highlights, opinions, analysis. Big Ten Commissioner Jim Delaney on. And you know, it's Commissioner Delaney that started all this stuff. Conference realignment.
And we're not even close to really being done with it. People think we are. every time you think the dust is settled, it has not, because there are a number of schools out there that would love to be a part of this conference. So if this conference so desires, it can still make moves. That's entirely up to the commissioner. And of course, the member institutions. Getting Nebraska, a huge get for them. Created what we have here tonight, the Big Ten championship game.
No doubt about it, 46 seconds remaining. Michigan State has gambled a bit tonight. Let's see if they elect to go for it.
They have the quarterback to do so. You talk about total trust. Team trusts him, coaching staff trusts him with the ball in his hands.
Now Bell will motion toward the near side. And line up in the slot. Cousins, empty backfield. Cousins under pressure, throws it around incomplete. And Bell was open, but Kirk Cousins had pressure in his face.
And that was a four-man rush from Wisconsin, creating that pressure. They have not had much of that on passing downs tonight. Part of that is Cousins gets it out of his hands quickly in the short three-step drop game. And some of that bootleg action has faked out Wisconsin too.
2nd and 10, 43 seconds to go. Cousins finds Nickel, and Nickel gets in Wisconsin territory. Peniel Gene, coming up with the tackle.
And that was intelligent route running by Nickel, getting to the sideline, then using his strength to get over the sideline and save time on the clock. 3rd down now. I think they're going to go ahead and try and push it downfield a little bit. But remember, a 1st down gets the clock stopped to reset the chains.
3rd down and 2. And where do they need to go to get into Dan Conroy range?
Dan Conroy's long for the season is 50 yards. So, 52 yards this year. And he's 4 or 5 from 40 to 49 yards this season. 50 yards is his long so far. So to get him there, get to the 30-yard line, you're well within range.
Michigan State has outscored Wisconsin 23-0 in the 2nd quarter. Back in October in East Lansing. Tonight they've outscored the Badgers 22-0 in the 2nd quarter. So deja vu.
All over again.
All over again.
Is Yogi here? Because the other part of this too is that physically they've been dominant in the 2nd quarter too. It hasn't just been trick plays and faking them out. They've taken charge of this game at the line of scrimmage.
3rd down and 2 at the 47. A handoff to Bell, and he picks up the 1st down.
So now they have to move to get up to the line of scrimmage while the chains get set. You see the clock stop now. When it's whistled in play, Michigan State should be set and ready to go.
Cousins over the middle, and it's caught by Bell, who's taken down immediately at the 40. What do you think they need to get to, Coach Brewster, to get in the field goal range?
Gus, I always felt like you wanted to try to get inside the 30-yard line. I thought that most kickers' comfort level is somewhere in the 45 to 37 or 47-yard range. Try to get inside the 30, Gus.
So if they hit the 30, 7 yards usually, right, Coach Brewster's that making a 47-yard kick. So just inside, as you said, increases that comfort zone.
So 22 seconds remaining in this quarter. Conroy on the season, 14 of 19, and he's tied his long of 50 yards twice as he gets loose.
And look what we have here, big bunch formation at the top.
Barton crosses. Cousins finds Keyshawn, and he'll get out of bounds. And they say he steps out of bounds around the 35.
Like the call by Dan Rochard, the offensive coordinator. That's really just an isolation route. show everyone something all the way to the wide side, motion him back where he's really is going to have single coverage on the back side, and get the football in his hands and let him go to work.
So Michigan State now faced with a 3rd down and 2 yards to go at the Wisconsin 35. Cousins, quick strike, caught, and out of bounds goes Linthicum, but I don't believe he has enough for the 1st down. We'll see.
Really well played by Peniel Jean, coming up and sitting on the route and keeping them outside of that comfort zone that we talked about for field goal kickers. Coach Brewster talked about getting inside the 30. I said get to the 30, it's a 47-yard kick. They're nowhere close now. Now at the 34, it becomes a much longer kick for Conroy.
Michigan State now out of timeouts, 4th down and 1. Looks like Dan Conroy is going to get an opportunity, the junior place kicker from Wheaton, Illinois. Because we're in a dome, there are no field condition challenges.
This should line up at about 51 yards for the kick. And as you said, with no field condition challenges, this is a perfect opportunity for him to extend his single season long, or this season long of 50.
This will be a 51-yard attempt. Sontag the holder. Good snap, clean hold. No good. He pushed it wide right. And that's the end of the 1st half, and what a half it was. The Big Ten Conference Championship, 29-21 at the break. And we'll be back for the Pizza Hut halftime show with Kevin Frazier, Marcus Allen, and Dahani Jones live here in Indy after these messages from your local Fox stations. Welcome back to Indianapolis. Our halftime score, Michigan State with a 29-21 lead over Wisconsin. Hi everybody, Gus Johnson along with Charles Davis, and a lot of points scored in that 1st half, CD, but defense, especially that D-line from Michigan State in the 2nd quarter, a whole different team.
Absolutely took control and changed the physicality of the game also, because both of them were lobbing big blows at each other, big heavyweight shots. But as the game wore on, Michigan State's defensive front took charge. Jarrell Worthy dominating inside. He's creating big plays getting inside. And Pat Narduzzi, the defensive coordinator, has covered up the running gaps for Wisconsin. And now William Golston has become a force at defensive end too. I like what Michigan State's doing, and they get the ball to start the 2nd half.
As you take a look at the 1st half statistics.
And when you take a look at the total yards, look at the rush yards. Remember, that's net after sacks. Wisconsin ran it so well in the 1st quarter, but Michigan State, who came into the game 12th in the Big Ten in running the football, they've taken charge of the offensive line also. Physical, that is weighing heavily in the favor of Michigan State.
So the Spartans set up to receive the football. Nick Hill fumbling a kickoff in the 1st half. So ball security will be at the top of his list. Philip Welch will send it away with Hill and Le'Veon Bell back deep. And this is Hill as he brings it out of the end zone. Hill getting up to the 25, before being taken down. So Kirk Cousins in that first half did a pretty nice job. Let's go downstairs to Tim Brewster.
Thank you, Gus. In talking to Brett Bielema, he felt like the opening kickoff was critical, and they've got to do a better job of running the ball with efficiency on first down. With Michigan State, it's all about emotion, guys. They're 30 minutes from going to Pasadena.
So we start the second half. Michigan State at their own 26, first down. Le'Veon Bell in the backfield. They swing it out to Keyshawn, and he will go nowhere. Closing on the play, Kevin Claxton, the senior from Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
None of us were in the locker room with Michigan State, but I'd be surprised if any of us thought that Brett Bielema did many other things but challenge his team at the half. Because in that second quarter, Michigan State took such control. Will Wisconsin get off the mat and punch back? Because that's what they have to do to reestablish themselves here in the second half.
A loss of 1 on the last play, second down and 11. The handoff, Bell with running room, and Bell gets close to the first down marker. Peniel Jean making the tackle.
And here's an opportunity to make a play. Watch the penetration into the backfield of Michigan State. That's Borland, number 44. He misses. And then there were other missed tackles after him. See, he's right there. Chance to put him down, misses it. Kelly, 97, misses. He goes past Taylor to pick up nice yardage, make it 3rd and short.
Bell gains 10 yards, 11 carries, 94 yards, and a touchdown so far. 3rd down and 1 at the 35. Here's a handoff to Bell, looking, and this time he'll lose yardage. Sensational pursuit. Brendan Kelly, first man to him. And Michigan State 3 and out to start the second half.
And that's punching back by the Wisconsin defense. They gave up a play that they should have made on 2nd down and came back with 3rd and short and met the challenge and turns the ball back over to their offense and should have decent field position. Excellent way to start the second half by the Badger defense.
So Mike Sadler will punt it away. This is his first punt of the night. And he'll stand at the 14. Jared Abrederis is back deep at the 32. Left-footed punter drives it. Abrederis over to the sideline. Now brings it back, takes a step up. And Abrederis chopped down at the 37, a 45-yard punt. A 10-yard return. Alan DeNikos with the tackle on special teams.
Hey, you see, it looked like he had a gap in a play, but DeNikos Allen, who's one of their starting linebackers, does a really nice job covering and puts him down on the spot before Abrederis can make it into a bigger play.
First down at the 38. Monty Ball in the backfield. And a first down, he runs it, and nothing. That D-line balling out right now. William Golston, who didn't play in the first matchup, comes up with the tackle, and that's for a loss.
And Coach Brewster identified William Golston in the first half as someone who was having an impact on this football game. And we're seeing it again. And what did we talk about time and again in the second quarter? Winning the 1st and 2nd downs by the Michigan State defense. Another win on 1st down on the first possession for Wisconsin.
2nd down and long. Wilson. And he finds his fullback, Brady Ewing, near side. Chris Norman, the outside linebacker from Detroit, makes the stop. And a 7-yard gain brings up 3rd and 3.
This is a nice pickup for Wisconsin because it makes it 3rd and manageable. A much better down and distance for the play caller, Paul Chryst, as Ewing ends up finishing the run against Norman as he tackles him.
3rd down, 3 at the 45. Russell Wilson has to make some plays. As he rolls out of the pocket, throws on the run, 1st down, 2. And Nick 2 gains 6. Norman Robinson combining to knock him out.
And as you called it, Gus, this play was designed. Russell Wilson was going to get to the corner, either throw the football or use his legs to try and pick up the first down. He had Nick Toon available, puts the ball on him, first down Wisconsin.
Wilson, the most efficient quarterback in the country, has a pass efficiency ranking of 192.9. It's Toon again. And Toon dropped by Robinson. But he picks up 6 yards on the play.
And let's put that pass efficiency number into perspective, Gus. If that number holds, it's a brand new NCAA record, because the record currently is held by Colt Brennan of Hawaii at 186. And we're talking all time.
28 touchdowns coming into this game at just 3 interceptions. Here's a draw play for Monty Ball. And Ball gets close to the first down. William Golston again.
See, you make a first down or two, the confidence starts to rise, and now the Wisconsin offensive line back to being what they like to be, which is physical at the point of attack, and a really nice job blocking on Jarrell Worthy, number 99. Ricky Wagner, the second part of the double team, takes him inside and creates an opening for the running back.
3rd down and 1 at the 40. Wisconsin, 3 of 7 on conversions. 2 tight ends. Pedersen in motion. Ball! Knocked down! What a play! Jarrell Worthy, first man to him. And a penalty flag. This may be offside against Michigan State.
Offside. Defense, number 99. 5-yard penalty. Results, first down.
Well, that may establish why he had such a great jump. Let's see. The get off, and Worthy. Boy, that was awfully close as he timed that one up. Let's take a look. Yes, getting his head into the neutral zone. It was close, but the officials were on top of the call. And look, Ball had to get rid of the football to Wilson. Big play by Worthy, negated.
So the Badgers pick up a first down at the Michigan State 35. Play fake. Wilson rolling out, looks backside, in trouble, avoids the rush, now takes off and gets dropped behind the line of scrimmage to Nikos Allen, who's been a little bit of everywhere this evening. And it's a loss of 2.
How about the discipline of Michigan State staying home on the backside here? Because the action goes away and they want to throw to the backside. But the backside corner had it covered. And also the linebacker, number 10, Chris Norman, had the back out of the backfield trying to sneak out. Nowhere to go, the big hit.
They credit him with the sack. 2nd down and 12. Wilson out of the backfield, ball. Took his eyes off of it. Chris Norman bearing down for MSU.
You talk about the big hits. I think this might be a cumulative effect. Look how he's trying to look and see the defender coming as he's trying to catch the football. He's looking up and locating Chris Norman instead of isolating the football and hauling it in.
So a big 3rd down and 12. Badgers need to go to the 25 for first down. Twins at the bottom.
Michigan State loves to blitz in this situation and get after you.
Flag on the play.
Ball start. 67 offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
It's Josh Oglesby, the right tackle.
Young man's all Big Ten. He's really battled like crazy to play. He's had 6 knee surgeries and continues to go out and try and be active, but he gets moving a little bit too soon on that 3rd down play.
So instead of 3rd and 12, it's 3rd and 17 at the 42. Badgers need to go to the 25-yard line for a first down. And Wilson breaks contained, fires, wide open, touchdown! Abradaris! What a play by Russell Wilson!
Where that flag was thrown is often holding calls.
Personal foul, face mask, number 5. The play resulted in a touchdown. The face mask will be on the kickoff.
That goes on Johnny Adams, who was coming on the corner blitz, and see him reaching for Russell Wilson and gets his hand in the mask and pulls. And how about Wilson staying with the play and finding Abradaris downfield for the big touchdown? That's perseverance.
7th receiving touchdown of the year for Abradaris. Russell Wilson making chicken salad out of that play. And with 9:13 to go in the 3rd, the extra point by Welch is good, and we've got a 1-point game. 29-28. This is the Big Ten Conference Championship game. The winner advancing to the Rose Bowl. These teams came to play. Back 1-point game, 29-28. And Coach Brewster, Russell Wilson is a tough guy to control when he scrambles and makes things happen.
He really is, Gus. One of Mark D'Antonio's biggest fears is his defensive back staying engaged with the receivers, locking them up when he was scrambling. They lost receivers in a scramble situation. Got to stay locked up.
And it came with that corner blitz, Coach, and when the corner blitz wasn't able to get home, in fact, he was the one who picked up the penalty. And as you noted, Russell Wilson dangerous when he gets outside of the pocket. Found Abradaris when there was confusion deep because they didn't stay locked up, as you said.
So Wisconsin kicks from the 45 because of the face mask penalty. And this one, it'll be a touchback, and Michigan State will have it at the 20-yard line. And take a look at the face mask.
So this is the play where the corner blitz does not get home. All right, in other words, he's not able to sack him. Johnny Adams, one of their great tactics for the year. Wilson escapes, but you saw the hand get into the face mask. That's why the ice is on Russell Wilson's face.
Spartans come out with the football at the 20. The Wisconsin fans are starting to feel it now. Let's see what Kirk Cousins can do. On first down. Play action. Cousins in trouble. Dumps it off quickly. Keyshawn Martin. And Martin will pick up 3.5 on the play as Shelton Johnson and Kevin Claxton combine on the tackle.
And the start of the second half led us to the question of would Wisconsin come out and slug again? Well, the first defensive possession, they did exactly that, which set up their offense to have an opportunity to score, and they capitalized. They're back on the field now feeling a little bit better about themselves. I see them quicker to the football here in the second half.
Second down, 7 to the 23. Baker lines up. Selleck in motion. Baker, no! They jump on him. Cahoot. The redshirt sophomore.
He comes from the inside. Cahoot does, and then he picks up some help from Claxton. Nicely done. Claxton coming in and helping to blow the play up also. Met with Brett Bielema earlier this week, and he said, I have a no-name defense that I'm real proud of. Not a lot of household names, but they play pretty well when they're coordinated.
Michigan State faced with third down and long. They need 9. First down mark is at the 30. Cousins in the gun. Cousins to the sideline. Nice throw. Ooh, B.J. Cunningham stayed in bounds, but Kirk Cousins put that on a line. And it's a 10-yard gain, good enough for a first down.
That's a lot of arm on that pass because he's almost flat-footed in the pocket, throwing it all the way to the sideline. And a nice job by B.J. Cunningham possessing the ball all the way through the catch.
Cousins swings it out, Martin, and he'll pick up a first down and get out of bounds. So Michigan State faced with a third down and 9. They pick up the first down.
I'm reminded of something Mark D'Antonio said about these two teams. He said, you know something? When you ask about these two teams, Whenever you use the word adversity, we learned a lot about that both sides. We learned that both handle adversity well. It takes big plays to finish off either side.
First down at the 43-yard line for Michigan State. 7:08 to go in the third quarter. Badgers showing blitz, now they back off. Here they come. Cousins, incomplete. Nickel the intended receiver, but good pressure being applied by Kevin Claxton, the outside linebacker, number 9.
And nice coverage by number 44, Chris Borland, the middle linebacker. That's why I talk about coordinated. Everyone doing their job, not trying to do anything more. Oftentimes when you try to do more, you get out of your lanes. You create bigger plays for the offense. Wisconsin now taking care of their own assignments.
2nd and 10. Cousins, Martin cuts it back. Martin lost his head. You think this is important, folks? Chris Borland, 2nd in the conference in tackles, bringing the pain on this play.
The play starts originally. Watch nickel with the block on the corner against Cromartie. That allows the opening. And then the big hit inside out by Borland on Keyshawn Martin.
Not only did he knock his helmet off, he knocked his do-rag off too. Whoa, that do-rag flying right in the helmet. A lot of hitting going on. A 15-yard gain, though. He hung on to the ball. 1st and 10 of the 42. Baker, chopped down. Borland starting to really ratchet it up. The physicality, the sophomore from Kettering, Ohio.
Getting a pretty good idea of why he had 124 tackles during the regular season. The 2nd leading tackler in the Big Ten, trailing only his teammate, Mike Taylor, with 128. And one more shot at the helmet and the do-rag. Do you get extra points if you get both off?
Has been named the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Week 2 of the last 4 weeks, Chris Borland. He's only 5'11". Baker. And Baker dropped by Henry, but he'll gain 10 yards on the play.
And every time Wisconsin seems to have an advantage winning first down, they give up a big play on 2nd down and put Michigan State back into 3rd and manageable. 3rd and manageable is anything 3rd and 4 or less. And that's where Michigan State is right now.
What a drive for Michigan State right now. That started at their own 20-yard line. 9th play of the drive. 3rd down 3 at the 35. Cousins backing up. Almost picked off by Aaron Henry. So that'll bring up 4th down and a decision to be made for the Spartans.
I think they're probably too close to punt and they're probably too far to kick the field goal. I think this is one where you leave the offense out there and try and pick it up. But Henry, the former cornerback, now turned safety, had a chance to make a huge play for Wisconsin.
Michigan State keeping the offense on the field. Ball at the 35. Spartans need 3 yards on 4th down.
They're going to let it wind down and then probably call timeout and make a decision. Or wind down and punt the ball. They want the 5 yards here for leverage, or excuse me, for you know, a little bit of extra room for the punter.
Delay game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
I wouldn't be surprised if Wisconsin wanted to decline this penalty and cut down the margin of error for the punter. They're giving him more room now by taking the penalty.
So Mike Sadler punting for the 2nd time. His first punt, 45 yards. Abradaris at the 10. End over end, Aussie kick. Abradaris allows it to get away. Down at the 1. Coach D'Antonio trusting his defense. Wisconsin backed up deep. 29-28, Michigan State with the lead. Wisconsin with the football, but they're huddling up in the end zone, and the Spartan fans are letting them have it.
And this is where a lot of defensive coordinators call run blitzes in order to try and get up safety in this situation.
Wilson with the quarterback sneak, just to get some breathing room.
Went a long time at the line of scrimmage, didn't they? Wisconsin trying to pick up a cheap 5 yards with a hard count, hoping to get someone to jump. Michigan State showing discipline by not doing so.
Second and 8. Wilson with the handoff to Ball. And Ball crosses the 5-yard line. Chris Norman with the tackle. Brings up a big 3rd down and 5 at the 6.
And now the defense of Michigan State trying to make sure that they pay off their head coach's decision to punt the ball deep. Because if they're able to get off the field here and force a punt, that validates the call. And remember in game 1, Russell Wilson called for intentional grounding in the end zone, a safety in a similar situation.
Wilson will throw it. Up top, Wilson, incomplete. To the intended receiver. And the Badgers will have to punt it away. Johnny Adams defensively for MSU.
Look in the slot right here. Adams working against Toon. And the tough part for Wisconsin is they have good receivers, but they're not especially dynamic. And Michigan State hugging the coverage, staying tight on the hip and in front, not giving much ground because they don't believe they can run past them very often.
Remember, Wisconsin has had 2 punts blocked this year, 1 to Michigan State, 1 to Ohio State. Nortman, back of his end zone, got it away, and it's a beauty. Back deep, Martin. And he'll hop out of bounds inside Wisconsin territory. 54-yard punt, 12-yard return. 3:22 to play, 3rd quarter.
Congratulations, Katie, and what a tight game we have here. This is a good time if you want to take a shot deep. Look at the field position for Michigan State.
Instead, they hand it off to Bell. And Bell will get inside the 45. Coach Brewster, what have you been seeing down there?
Well, again, to me, it's all about play-action pass, guys. Both these teams are outstanding, running the football. The play-action pass, the keys to success are the pad level of the offensive line, but particularly the ball handling of the quarterback. Both these quarterbacks do a great job ball handling.
And you talk about pad level of the offensive line looking the same on runs and passes, so you can't read keys as a defense.
2nd and 6 at the 44. Cousins in the shotgun over the middle. What a catch! And a flag, B.J. Cunningham. And it'll go against Michigan State. This one's coming back.
Ineligible receiver downfield. Number 85 was covered. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 2nd down.
What they mean by covered is the tight end to that side. If you're on the tight end side as a receiver, you have to be off the line of scrimmage in order to make him an eligible receiver. If you're on the line of scrimmage where he is, you've covered him and turned him into an ineligible receiver.
So 2nd and 11 at the 49.
Bunch at the top, oftentimes that screen.
And they swing it out. Martin, head of steam. Tackled from behind by Mike Taylor. And this Keyshawn Martin is a speed demon. And he's had a wonderful game. 8 catches, 110 yards. He's averaging 14 yards a grab. Third down and 6.
And here they go again with their radar front with no one down on the defensive front, everyone on their feet.
And a timeout called by Michigan State.
Timeout, Michigan State. First team timeout.
Third down and 6 coming up for the Spartans. Welcome back. The Buick Human Highlight Reel celebrates former NCAA athletes who are making a difference off the field. See former Wisconsin Badger Jake Wood's story and the rest of the Human Highlight Reel at ncaa.com/Buick. Third down 6 at the 44. Empty backfield for Kirk Cousins. Now they line Bell up. Cousins over the middle, caught! Cunningham with a block! Touchdown Spartans! 44 yards!
Pressure from Wisconsin, and watch the crossing routes that you get here, and he gets lost in the traffic. Linthicum almost threw a block, but ran his route through. And then look at Nickel late with the extra help to get him into the end zone.
Conroy. 1:41 to play. Third quarter. 36-28. Michigan State.
Jake Wood, a former Wisconsin Badgers lineman and Marine, is the founder of Team Rubicon, an organization that sends military veterans into disaster zones on a moment's notice. Their first mission was in Haiti after the 2010 earthquake. This past summer, after a deadly tornado tore through Joplin, Missouri, Jake's team was on the ground within hours, helping the recovery. To see Jake's story and the entire Buick Human Highlight Reel, go to ncaa.com/Buick.
Welcome back to downtown Indianapolis, Indiana. This is Lucas Oil Stadium, site of the Big Ten Conference Championship game, the inaugural championship game. And what a game it's been. Michigan State, Wisconsin, the rematch. Spartans won it in the first meeting on October 22nd, 37-31, and they have been really delivering haymakers, both teams. Abradaris, and Abradaris! Abradaris, all the way up to the 49.
The way he was sliding through tackles, I thought you were headed to abracadabra.
I was about to.
Look at how it gets set up. And they're gonna bring him back against the grain to help him pick up. There's a block there. He slips through one tackle, the cut back to gain the additional yardage. A nice return for Wisconsin to set up their offense.
Badgers with the short field. At their own 48. Monty Ball in the backfield. Here's Ball. And Ball will pick up 2. Jarrell Worthy. Man, has he played well this evening. Plugging up the hole, 6'3", 310. Pickleman, Golston.
You remember the first half, actually more specifically the first quarter. See the first quarter, Monty Ball, 105 yards, 2 touchdowns. Oh, it seemed like every snap was 10 yards minimum. Now they're struggling to get 2 yards.
2nd and 8 at midfield. Ewing. And Wilson looks backside, deflected, he picks it up. And he'll get close to the line of scrimmage. Nico Salen and Chris Norman in.
They've often said that Russell Wilson is talented enough to throw it to himself and catch it, but that's not quite the way they draw it up. Is that Worthy again, popping it in the air?
Looks like it was
Golston, number 2, and then Wilson catches it on the rebound, but they swallow him up quickly, 3rd and long.
That's Wilson's 2nd catch today. Third down 9 at the 49. Wilson to the sideline, caught, nicely done. Duckworth breaks it in and picks up the first down. Jeff Duckworth, timely reception as Denard and Trenton Robinson stop him. But Russell Wilson now making the throws. And as we mentioned, Wilson with his second catch. And that's the end of the third quarter, folks, here in Naptown. Your score, MSU 36, Wisconsin 28. The Big Ten Championship game on Fox will be back after these messages. Michigan State. However, Wisconsin has the football, first down and 10 at the Spartan 37-yard line as we start the fourth quarter of the Big Ten Championship game. Wilson drops back. He finds a receiver. Beautiful job. Jacob Pedersen cradling the football, and he picks up a first down. So let's recap this one for you.
Keith Nickel on the catch, the lateral to B.J. Cunningham. Brad Sontag, the holder. After that touchdown, they fake it and get 2 points. Le'Veon Bell barreling in for a touchdown. And then Russell Wilson escaping pressure to Abradaris for a touchdown before the last Cunningham score.
Far side, Abradaris again and a first down. Gaining 12 yards. Robinson and Bullock with the tackle, but right now, this Wisconsin team moving the ball. Coach Brewster, what have you seen? What adjustments have the Badgers made offensively?
You know, again, to me, they're just making easy, quick throws, Gus. They're throwing hitches outside. They just hit the tight end on a basic cross. Tight ends have always been a big part of Wisconsin's game.
A gain of 14, 13, 12, last 3 plays. First down and 10 at the 12-yard line. Wilson again lobbed it in the corner. Toon! Incomplete, but a flag. And this may be pass interference against Johnny Adams. Toon going down hard.
And if so, the play started inside the 15. So it should be first and goal at the 2 if it goes against Michigan State.
Pass interference, defense, number 5. Ball be spotted at the 2-yard line. Automatic, first down.
And you see him inside, hands on Toon. That's the call. He's looking back to play the ball, but you can't play the ball and control the receiver with your hands at the same time. It's a call the officials had and had to make.
So the Badgers have it, first down and goal. Toon shaken up. Double tight ends. Ewing and Ball in the eye. Ball straight ahead. Oh, he's dropped in the backfield. Kyler Ellsworth. And they are high on this sophomore from Goodrich, Michigan.
A walk-on who had a scholarship to wrestle from Michigan State. Watch him shoot the gap and just come right in there and make the play. He was a wrestler in high school, 2-time state champion who gave up a full scholarship to wrestle to walk on and play football at Michigan State. I talked to him the other day. He said, that was my passion. I was ready to play football, and he's doing it well for the Spartans.
In their last game, he blocked the punt, which resulted in a touchdown. Second and goal at the 5. Here's a shovel pass. Touchdown, Badgers. Ball. Great call. That caught Michigan State off guard.
Paul Chris, the offense coordinator, noticed the pressure. And now here's a decision for Brett Bielema and crew. Remember Michigan State faked it and went for 2 and really put them in a spot now where they're chasing points. And Brett Bielema's made the decision now to go for 2 and try to get back in this ball game and make it an even game. but they used their shovel pass against the pressure of Michigan State.
This to tie it up. Toon splits out wide to the top of your screen. Abradaris at the bottom. Empty, no. Ball in the backfield with Wilson. Here's Wilson over the middle. Incomplete. Duckworth, the intended receiver, looked like that ball was deflected.
It was deflected, and that was the play they scored the first touchdown of the game on. That little pass inside to Duckworth, everyone else pushing deep with the receivers, and Duckworth trying to come into the voided area, but the ball was tipped inside by one of the defensive tackles of Michigan State. Was that Worthy?
Yes, it was.
Yes, it was, and he's played a heck of a game today. Knocked the ball off course. Michigan State maintains a 2-point lead. If Worthy doesn't get a paw on that one, I think we have a tie game.
And Coach Brewster, did Wisconsin need the 2-point conversion right there with 13:25 to go in the fourth?
Gus, I think that was a calculated mistake by Wisconsin. With 13 minutes and 25 seconds on the clock, plenty of time, I feel like it was really early there to go for 2. I think you go for 1 there and look towards your next possession.
A lot of coaches' philosophy is not to chase points. In other words, go for 2 until they absolutely have to. Wisconsin felt like they needed to try and get even there because they've been chasing Michigan State for so long.
And we will see how that decision plays out as this game continues. Nick Hill and Bell back deep. It's Hill. Up the sideline, Hill. And he scats his way to the 40. A 33-yard return. Hey guys, during the pregame show, we mentioned the hashtag battle on Twitter between Spartans and Badger fans. Here are the results. Michigan State clobbering them on Twitter. Looks like the Spartans are well represented, showing more support for their team. You can still join the battle by using hashtags Go Spartans or Go Badgers.
Looks like the Spartans got them in the hot gates and waged battle on that one, winning the hashtag battle. And Cousins has been dynamite against Wisconsin this year. 77% throwing, 6 touchdowns, well over 550 yards.
On first down, they fake the pitch, bootleg, sets up, fires on the run, knocked away. Great looking defensive play by Shelton Johnson.
People want an interference call, but Johnson deep in the middle of the field, reads the play coming back. Ball's thrown, he makes a play on the football. The crowd wants a call because they think he got there a little bit early and is riding him on his back. Tough call for the official. I'm an old DB, so I always think it's a good play. But if he had thrown the flag, there was reason there because of the way he had his hand draped on the back of the receiver.
Second down and 10, Cousins quickly over the middle. First down, Nickel. And Keith Nickel will pick up 11 yards on 2nd and 10.
Gus, earlier in this game, you talked about this being a heavyweight fight. And both of these teams lobbing bombs at each other, big haymakers. I don't think there's any doubt that any questions that anyone may have had, which I doubt they had anyway, about the heart of these two teams, they've been answered because neither side backs down and both of them come back at the other.
First down and 10 at the 49. And it's Bell. And Bell finally taken down by Aaron Henry after a 5-yard gain. This reminds you of Bo Holyfield 1. Remember that?
Oh, that wasn't Fan Man though, right? But this was Wildcat. Okay, that's Keyshawn Martin, 82, handing it off to Le'Veon Bell. But look down here at the bottom of the screen. Who's that trying to get a block? To the left of your screen. That's Kirk Cousins. Watch it coming at you again. The quarterback trying to win a football game, trying to block on Antonio Pinellas.
2nd and 5 of the 44. And the handoff to Martin around the corner. And Martin knocked backwards and out of bounds. Borland and Gene there to stop him.
okay, is 3rd and short, which seems heavy run. As you see, I'm 6 for 10 on 3rd down. Remember earlier in the game, 4th and short, they end up throwing the ball deep. You have to be very wary with Mark D'Antonio. They'll show heavy run with the ability to throw it.
Watch B.J. Cunningham. He's the receiver at the top of your screen. But they hand it off straight ahead and pick up the first down. As Le'Veon Bell closes in on 100 yards rushing. He gained 3 there. He now has 14 carries for 96.
And you see the value of that call earlier in the game, because now you have a little uncertainty in the minds of the defensive front of Wisconsin. They're not really willing to sell out against the run, thinking it might be a pass off of a play-action fake. Allows the offensive line for Michigan State to get the jump and create enough space to pick up the first down.
Martin at the top of your screen. At wide receiver. Anderson and Bell in the backfield. And they snap at the Bell. End around Cunningham with 2 blockers. Can he find a hole? Cunningham puts it inside and goes down at the 13. 24 yards.
How about this? They go Wildcat again with Bell as the trigger guy. And he's going to hand it to Keyshawn Martin, the play that they've shown. And then look on the flip. Now watch, look who's out in front. There's Bell blocking on Pinellas. Look at 63 getting out in front. Travis Jackson, the center, out running, creating an escort for B.J. Cunningham. Now, does that look like the face of a riverboat gambler type coach?
Certainly does not. First down and 10 of the 13 for Michigan State. Bell. And Bell. Stopped by Kevin Claxton.
And Mark D'Antonio, we had a chance to meet with him earlier this week. And when talking with Tim Brewster about him, who knows him quite well from having coached against him for so many years, Coach Brewster gave me the best word I've heard about him. He said Mark D'Antonio is measured. All right, he cares about what he says. He's thoughtful before he talks. But come game day, that inner wild child of Mark D'Antonio comes out in play calling.
Second down and 7 of the 10. Cousins in the shotgun. Bell tries to slice. And Chris Borland. That makes it 3rd down and 5 at the 8-yard line.
Seeing as many deceptive plays as we've seen, trick plays, whatever you want to call them, Gus, this is big boy football time. All right, this is when you line up, guy across the front of you, and smack them, although I think in this situation, they throw the ball with Cousins.
3rd down, 5 of the 8. Cousins, he can run. Here's Cousins. Over the middle, incomplete. And that brings up 4th down. So what do you do here, guys? You have to take the points, right?
Kick the field goal. I would even hesitate on this one myself. Nice play inside by Wisconsin to help break up this pass. Well thrown, and Borland, 44, comes across the front and knocks it away. If he doesn't knock it away, Keyshawn Martin has a chance to catch the football. But I would not even hesitate. Kick the field goal and put yourself up 5 points.
So Conroy comes in. He missed a 51-yarder. Now he's in to attempt a 25-yard field goal. It's on the hash. And he drills it. 8:28 to play. 4th quarter of the Big Ten championship game, and here comes Russell Wilson. This is why they brought him to Wisconsin, to win the big one and handle the pressure. 8:28 remaining in the 4th quarter of the Big Ten championship game. Michigan State with the lead, and Wisconsin is getting ready to receive the football.
Got a nice return from Abradaris on the last one. They help Wisconsin set up shop in good field position.
Abbrederis will get an opportunity from the 2. Abbrederis gets outside. Abbrederis finally upended at the 36. A terrific return of 34 yards. Tony Lippett with the tackle on special teams. Russell Wilson.
You talked about him getting here and the transfer. Starting quarterback for 3 years at NC State. He'd been drafted by the Major League Baseball Colorado Rockies and plays summer ball. Released from his scholarship. Remember, he graduated from NC State, which allowed him to make the transfer when Tom O'Brien, the head coach at NC State, said, if you can't make a full-time commitment, we're ready to move on. Wisconsin, happy that it worked out this way.
From the 36. And the handoff straight ahead, and it's Ball. And Ball, with some good tackle-to-tackle running, gains 9 yards on the play.
And let me finish that and make sure I'm clear. Full-time commitment Tom O'Brien was asking for was being around in the summers, the voluntary throwing, lifting with the team. Russell Wilson was playing minor league baseball and coming back and picking up as a starting quarterback. When Tom O'Brien didn't want that anymore, he had to find another place to play. It turned out to be Wisconsin.
2nd down and 1 at the 45. 7:40 and counting. Abbrederis in motion and a flag.
Looked like a jump in the offensive line.
False start, 48 offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
And that's Jacob Pedersen. Limited penalties for both teams. Only 4 for the Badgers, 6 for the Spartans.
After their last game for Michigan State, that seems like a ton considering they had 0 the last time they met.
2 very disciplined football teams with incredible leaders as head coaches. And Coach Bielema for Wisconsin and D'Antonio for Michigan State. 2nd and 6 at the 40. Abbrederis in motion again. Straight ahead handoff, and Ball is punched by Chris Norman. And that brings up 3rd down and 4 at the 42.
See what the penalty did? Because look at how that hole closes. Bulla filling. And then look at Norman with the tackle as he gets the proper run fit, as they say, in the right gap, in the right assignment. But the penalty hurt him because that was a 1st down run if it had been 2nd and short.
So 3rd down and 4 at the 42. Last couple of 3rd downs, Wilson has been magical. Drops back, far side, complete. Abbrederis, and a 1st down for the Badgers, a gain of 11.
In the last game these two teams played, Wisconsin was down 31-17 in the 4th quarter, and Russell Wilson, admittedly not his best game, but helped guide his team back to tie it before Michigan State won it on their last drive. He's in a position now on this drive to try and put Wisconsin ahead for the first time since the 1st quarter.
1st down and 10 of the 47. Ewing and Ball. Wilson rolling out, looking, nobody home, and he'll dump it out of bounds. Good decision. And some great coverage in the secondary by the Spartans.
I don't think that Michigan State really believes that guys can run past them except on broken plays. And really nice coverage there by number 31, Darquez Denard. Trying to get it out for Abbrederis, and he let him know about it at the end of the play. Denard missed the last 2 games due to injury. Tony Lippett had filled in for him. They were extremely happy to get him back at full speed tonight, and you just saw an example of why.
2nd down and 10 of the 47. Empty backfield for Russell Wilson. To the sideline. Nice throw, great catch. Ewing, the fullback, held on to it. It picks up 6. Brings up 3rd down and 4.
Exactly what they needed to get into a spot where Paul Chryst, the offensive coordinator, feels like he has plays on his sheet that he can dial up with confidence. It's a manageable 3rd down situation again for Wisconsin.
They need 4 yards. Abbrederis at the top of your screen. Watch number 15, Duckworth, in the slot at the top. Toon is at the bottom. Wilson and a flag.
False start, 67 offense, 5-yard penalty, remains third down.
That's Oglesby again, second time it's happened.
Remember, Michigan State came in the #2 team in the country with sacks. They had 38 coming into tonight. The pressure increased as this game went on. I think we saw an example of that pressure affecting the offensive line of Wisconsin, trying to prepare for it.
Third down and 9 at the 46. Maybe 2-down territory, or 4-down territory rather, for the Badgers. Wilson looking, he's got a receiver. He couldn't find his tight end, and Wilson dives forward. Danico Allen with the tackle, and that brings up 4th down.
And that wasn't even a blitz. Normally, Michigan State likes to blitz. They didn't even do that. They just rushed forward and relied on coverage. Look at that, 9 locked up, 31 locked up. See Toon right to the bottom, to the top of your screen. He's locked up with Adams, #5. And he looks like he's hurt again. He hurt his shoulder on the pass interference 2 series ago, and he looks like he hurt it again on that play.
4th down and 6 at the 43. 4:23 to go. Big play for Russell Wilson. Wilson looking. Fires across the field. Oh, what a catch! At the 6-yard line, Duckworth. 36 yards. And a first down for the Badgers.
When I talked with Paul Chris, the offensive coordinator, and asked him about Jeff Duckworth, he gave me what I think is the money quote. He says, I never call plays specifically for him, but I never mind people throwing the football to him. How about him fighting off the defensive back, #9, Isaiah Lewis, and coming back for the football.
So on 4th and 6, they get 36. The handoff, touchdown, Wisconsin. Money ball, 7 yards, and the Badgers retake the lead.
Now they've got to go for 2 again because they didn't get it last time, and they're going to want to at least have a field goals difference if at all possible. That hole was wide open on the running play for Ball. And now, don't be surprised here, Gus, if they use Wilson's legs. Move him a little bit in this situation rather than just leaving him in the pocket. Maybe get him to the edge with a run-pass option.
Out of the shotgun. Ball standing next to him. Wilson in trouble. Reverses. Wilson back in the end zone. They got it. Patterson. What a play by Russell Wilson. He's been a magician. And Wisconsin takes a 3-point lead with 3:45 to play in the Big Ten Championship.
I called for a run-pass option to get him to the corner. He used his legs anyway, just in the pocket.
3:45 to go. 42-39. Badgers. What a season it's been for Monty Ball.
And Barry Sanders' record is being approached in a big way. Monty Ball doesn't care about that now. He cares about the fact that his Badgers are up 3. And Gus, the last time these two teams played, it ended on what? That play called Rocket, a Hail Mary. What did that pass by Russell Wilson feel like to Abradaris? Excuse me, to Duckworth. Almost felt like a Hail Mary pass to get them in a position now to be ahead in this game.
No question. As Wisconsin sends it away, Hill and Bell back deep. Short kick, fielded at the 35.
And the reason they did that is they've had trouble in kickoff coverage. They didn't want them to break a big one.
The last time these two teams met each other on October 22nd, a Hail Mary determined the outcome. Russell Wilson keeping his team in it with the lead, but here comes Sparty. All right, let's take a look at the Ford game summary.
And this thing, action is really heated up. The numbers starting to really look similar, other than sacks. Michigan State getting after Russell Wilson, but late in this game, Wisconsin has rallied big time to take the lead.
First down and 10 at the 37. Look at the timeouts remaining. Michigan State with 2. Cousins in the shotgun. Can he do it again? To the sideline, incomplete. That one thrown high for Keyshawn Martin. And Shelton Johnson was right there in the vicinity.
He's played a really nice game tonight in coverage, Shelton Johnson has. 1 interception, but how many times have we seen him over the top, helping out in coverage and forcing incompletions?
And Keyshawn Martin, and B.J. Cunningham, the 2 receivers for Michigan State, have been wonderful as well. 2nd and 10 at the 37. They hand it off, Bell. And Bell detained as he crosses the line of scrimmage by Mike Taylor, who grabbed him. And that makes it 3rd down and 8 at the 39.
Wisconsin is not a heavy pressure team on defense. I'll be interested to see here on 3rd and 8 if they want to line up in that radar, no one down, and bring pressure at Kirk Cousins.
Watch nickel. He's at the top of your screen. Martin at the bottom. Cousins bounces out. Fires! And it's caught! Keyshawn Martin.
Look at him go up and get it. Is the first foot come down?
Oh my goodness!
Oh, and look at him, he's in the white with the foot.
And catch, inbounds.
Oh, the foot came down, in and out. I don't know if you're going to be able to let that one stand.
The previous play is under further review.
Watch how he comes down. Oh, right there. And see, he's in the white. I think that's an incomplete pass. That's going to come back.
His toe touched first.
There's a toe, but look, he's in the white. That foot is not squarely in the field of play. And at the end, does he have the possession? I think it's going to come down to being an incomplete pass because the foot was not clearly in bounds.
Let's check in with Mike Pereira at our command studio in Los Angeles. He is our rules analyst. And Mike, what a play.
Two things, Gus, you got to look at here. They don't have the full step rule like the NFL. Is the toe down in bounds, but then he is going to the ground out of bounds. Does he hold on to the ball when he hits the ground, or does it come loose while he's laying out of bounds? You know, you look at it here, you focus on the toe there, but here as he goes to the ground, watch the ball pop out of his hand. So
Mike,
you've got to look at this, and I think it's an incomplete pass.
So Mike, what you're saying is the toe would keep him in bounds, but not completing the catch, the process of the catch, would make it an incomplete pass.
That's correct. I think they'll reverse this to incomplete.
I think it's a catch.
Let's see, as he goes to the ground, as Mike's talking about, does he maintain possession, and does the ball stay? Does it hit the ground? Watch. Going through. Ball stays with him. If it's the toe in.
Following the video review, it's been determined that the receiver's foot was down out of bounds. The pass is incomplete.
And you guys are right.
4th down at the 38.5-yard line. The clock is correct.
Thank you, Mike. And thank you, Charles. So incomplete. Look at this.
This is how close it is. Toe tap, but look at where the foot is. Look at how much white is there. That's what the officials are determining, not a catch.
So that brings up 4th down and 8 with 2:57 to go, and Michigan State is going to punt it.
And if you're Wisconsin, you don't even think about rushing here. What you play is punt safe. All you want is the football. You have a 3-point lead. Don't run into the kicker.
Sadler sends it away. Abradaris with the fair catch at the 18. A 42-yard punt. Monty Ball and the Wisconsin offense come back on the field, and they'll look to eat up the clock.
And watch how many people are close to the line of scrimmage for Michigan State now, trying to stop the run game of Wisconsin.
Out of the offset eye, they pitch it to Ball. Ball around the corner, breaks it back with the running room, and he's tripped up by Darquez Denard.
And he stays in bounds, which is nice for Wisconsin, making Michigan State use a timeout.
The defense has to step up for him, though. 2nd and 6. Ball again, and he's dropped. 3rd down and 5. Ewing and Ball in the backfield. Wilson hands it to Ball, and Ball will not get it. Trenton Robinson stopping him, and that will force the Badgers to punt it with 2:24 and counting.
That's Pat Narduzzi, the defensive coordinator, who normally works out of the box. He came down to the field for these last crucial series, and his defense held, and his offense is going to get the football back with a little bit less than 2 minutes to go in the game.
Brad Nortman has been terrific punting the ball for Wisconsin. He's been getting great hang time. Keyshawn Martin has had to fair catch the ball a number of times tonight. He gets it up. This one, more of a line drive, and a flag. Martin to the sideline. Martin dives. He goes down inside the 5, but a flag on the punt. Wow.
And it looks like they got to the punter. And if Wisconsin gets the ball back, Michigan State is out of timeouts.
Running into the kicker, number 9, defense, at 5-yard penalty. The result, 1st down.
See, frankly, I'm a little surprised they came after it so hard, because that's a nice job by Nortman. Let me tell you, this is a really nice job by him, because he leaves the leg up there, as a punter is taught. And then he takes the nice flop. But I don't think the official had any choice but to make this call. He comes through the body of him pretty well. Nice acting job, but that's what you're taught to do as a punter. But Lewis should not be anywhere in the vicinity to have to make that call.
Oh, Charles.
Gus, he should not have been anywhere in any form close enough to him to force the officials to make the call. They had to make that one.
No timeouts for Michigan State. Wilson takes a knee.
And this is a tough way for this game to end. A great victory for Wisconsin, but a tough way for it to go down for Michigan State. In that situation, normally you play punt safe, get the football, and try and run it downfield with your offense. Going for the block put them in jeopardy.
Congratulations to the Wisconsin Badgers, favored by 9. The Badgers win 42-39 to win the inaugural Big Ten Conference Championship game, and Wisconsin heads to Pasadena to take on Oregon in the Rose Bowl. What a game. 42-39 the final.